And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 392. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, we are going to be doing a comic book review on DC X Sonic the Hedgehog issue 1 in a little bit after we have the usual guy bro conversations that you guys all know and love. And also, today is a very special day because it is the final day of 2025. So happy New Year's to
Woohoo!
everybody. And if you are watching this show on the replay because you couldn't catch the show live because you were, at like a bar or a party getting mega drunk and plastered, or if you were just so happened to have a threesome with a lot of different women and you were just face deep in some ass and you couldn't watch the show, happy New Year's. And I hope you guys are being safe, productive, and not crazy. Let's just say that, because on New Year's, people tend to, go absolutely insane, and that's not something you should probably do. I don't do that anymore. I'm old and disgusting and decrepit and tall, rich, and charismatic. So I typically like to stay inside the house and, stream all day on my days off because I have nothing to do, because I am just a loser at this point who has no friends but people on the internet, because I sacrificed personal relationships for working and money. So that's just how it works in life. But
sometimes.
And so that means we are at this point where Spencer, aka Dingus Den, is our final, I would say, collaborative guest co-host for this episode of the MSK show for 2025. When I first started the MSK show back last September, leading into this year and doing the show throughout the entire year, I never would have thought I would have finished off this year doing an MSK show episode, like doing a comic book review as the final thing on it, let alone I'd be doing with you. I initially thought, I was like, okay, I'll probably finish off the year doing it with like Lapsed or Warren or like Gray or someone, but no. So it turns out, started with a white man, ended up with a white man. So that's where things actually go. But how you been, man? What's been going on?
I've been good. I've been just enjoying winter break, free from school stuff, and so, but yeah, had a good Christmas, looking forward to the New Year's. And yeah, what about you?
Well, what's interesting is the last time you were on a show, and I remember you filled in for Bob and Gray that week. That's when we were talking about Thunderbolts' week 2 box office performance, which was really bad. Like, I want you guys to really understand this, though. Just because a movie makes, I don't know, let's throw a big number out there, $400 million. Now, your brain is going to go, oh my God, it made $400 million at the box office. MSK, that is pretty good. But there's other things you must understand when it comes to this. Number one is that the overall studios don't get that full amount. So that $400 million that I'm talking about right now, as an example, it's not something they fully get. The theaters take 50%. All of them do that as a collective in this country. Now, is the rate lower or higher overseas? I don't know. The reason why I don't know that is because I'm not saying that as far as like I don't know. What I'm saying is it's always renegotiated every single year. So when January, so it's probably already renegotiated now. So it might be 60% going in 2026 because movies are making that much money. So they need a bigger percentage of the box office ticket sales to stay afloat, So take 50% off $400 million. Then you must consider another factor into that, marketing and the budget. So if they spent, let's just say $200 million on the actual budget. So that's paying everybody that's flying overseas to film and all the other production costs like catering and all the other shit, putting people up in hotels. You have to get insurance because if someone breaks their leg, you got to be able to pay for that, obviously. Then you must consider marketing. So let's say the marketing was $100 million. Okay, so that means the movie's overall total to make it was $300 million. Okay. Even if you were to apply tax credits where they get some of the money back if they film it in a certain location, let's say they get back, I don't know, $70 million, and that puts it at 230. A movie making $400 million is not good enough. That is just not good enough. That is a complete and utter failure, because just look at it from an aspect of like, if I give you $200 million, I expect, like, God forbid, I don't know, $800 million back if I'm talking about a big investment like that. Getting
Right.
400 back is just not good enough. And yes, that big number can trick a lot of people because it makes your brain go, well, isn't that just good enough? No, executives don't think like that. They want better than good enough.
Right.
The reason why you're not you, but the reason why you guys are losers and you're stupid and you don't understand jack shit is because you think so small. Think of like a billionaire. So a million to him at some point means nothing. It just does. He wants more than that. You need more because these things cost a lot of money. And then
Mhm.
if you want to justify the investment you made, you also need to make money off that too. These are investments, right? I have to make money back from making the thing itself. So
Right.
this crazy notion that that the numbers that we're seeing are good enough, they're not. They're actually not good at all. And most of the box office throughout these last like let's say 4 years after COVID from 2020, because there wasn't really movies that came out in 2020 to the point there was all year to count. But if you want to count 2020, movies have been performing exponentially really bad. The main thing is that there's like 3 movies that'll come out that'll carry the entire year, so it makes it look a lot more
Mhm.
than it really does. But outside of these outliers, okay, it doesn't mean anything because the movies aren't performing very well. Yeah, you could count VOD sales, you can, but that doesn't mean anything toward like box office. Those are completely separate things. That's a separate thing because one involves the studio just
Right.
having all that money go to them, which, like I said before, if you're counting like VOD sales, I mean, I'm not sure how the process works on that, but taking out the middleman is kind of, I think, what they always want. I don't think they really want a middleman anymore because they want to keep all the money for themselves. So the VOD kind of thing is fine. Like, and movies have always made money on like physical media sales or video on demand. That's always been the thing, right? I just find it weird that that's a factor in the box office conversation now when that's always been a thing. You guys know, like legendary movies have flopped box office wise, but have made so
Yeah.
much money physical media. Why I don't get why having a physical media argument works when it's always the case, though. It's always been the case. Like Batman vs Superman failed, I think, box office wise, based off the money they spent marketing and everything, right?
Mhm.
Made a lot of money on VOD, but that doesn't make it a successful box office adventure. That means 2 different things.
Mhm.
One, it failed box office wise, but it was successful in the home video sales. That's how you would phrase that argument, how your logic would go, because it can't be successful at the box office while simultaneously failing there, and then it would also be successful physical media wise. That's not how that works, guys. That's things are considered failures and things are considered success stories depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand this line of thinking where now all of a sudden VOD matters more. What do you mean it's mattered more? It's always mattered. It's never not mattered. That's the thing. But no one.
Right.
That's something that we can't. That's something you can't account for because we just have no numbers for that. We just don't. I mean, I have no number. I have no numbers of showing you that. What I do know is the numbers they spent on the movie because they make these things public to a certain extent. And who knows? Given how much these movies cost nowadays, these movies could cost way more money at this point. Now, these could cost. I mean, Multiverse of Madness was. They did the filings and the tax credits in UK. Apparently, that movie cost $400 million. Like these movies actually probably cost way more money, but or the Deadpool Wolverine. Remember that one that came out last year, earlier this year? It was like a few weeks ago actually. They had revealed, hey, this movie cost way more money than what they're saying. Shit almost cost like $500 million, bro. Holy shit, Marvel, what are you doing? $500 million on that thing?
That's insane if that's really the cost. I feel like there's just so much going on. You don't ever really know like the truth of it, you know? And so it's just I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, all this numbers talk is just speculation. Like sure, you have rough ideas, but you're never gonna know exactly how it is
Yeah,
unless you're one of those few people actually running the company.
yeah. And since I'm not someone running the company, I'm just some tall, rich, good-looking, charismatic white dude on the internet. That means you guys should always trust me on what I say. But so
Always.
since we're wrapping up 2025, what were some of your favorite single issue comic books or collected editions you read throughout the year? They don't have
You
to come out in 2025. It's just something you read
Sure.
in
That's
2025.
actually a great question because I literally earlier today I just recorded a video with a friend where we talked about our top 10 favorite issue ones that came out
Hmm.
this year. Um but I will say a big highlight for me so far. I think DC does a great job with their events, and so DCKO I've really been enjoying.
Mhm.
Um, for me, something I've been doing over the last couple months is I've actually been going in and reading through Chris Claremont's X-Men, the gold standard of what X-Men should be. And so I actually today just finished reading the Brood arc. And so I'm going through this reading order, and that's like the second of
The
6 or 7
arcs.
sections of like, and they're big because like that I just
Mhm.
finished reading issue 166, and it began all the way back, and well, you have giant sized X-Men, and then it's like issue 96, 97, and going
Yeah.
on from there. So like his run is monumentally just huge.
Yeah, for those of you
And
guys who don't know, X-Men actually started out without these like I would say mega iconic characters that you guys all recognize. It started out and it only got to like what 66 or 67 issues because if you guys aren't going to believe me, it didn't. I didn't know this myself, but I learned because you learn new things every day. It
yeah,
didn't do well. X-Men originally didn't do
no,
well. It was actually softly canceled and put on an indefinite hiatus, and they just
yeah,
reprinted issues, and that's how they were keeping it in circulation. It really wasn't until Giant Size X-Men #1 where Chris Claremont and Dave
yeah,
Cockrum came onto the book and really made it what it is. He created like obviously
yeah,
like Colossus and Rogue and all those fan favorite characters you guys all know and love. It really wasn't until that book that it
yeah,
really actually got catapulted into the stardom of a IP that it is, because like people have forgotten that Cyclops is the original leader of the X-Men. Did you guys know that Angel was a part of the original X-Men? You probably didn't because you only know it from what's been presented in like the later history of the IP. But
right,
in Chris Claremont's X-Men run, because I was talking to John's Longbox last night, and this guy kept saying, "Well, MSK, you won't be able to find that stuff because Marvel is focusing on blue-haired lesbians and septum rings." I'm like, dude, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I specifically said, this is how you know people are retarded. They just don't listen. They just don't listen at all. They're just trying
right,
to
right,
say
no,
something
no.
straight off their brain. Here's the keyboard. Link. I said, it is hard to find collected editions of his run. So,
That's true.
yeah, people say Marvel Masterworks. You used to have that problem with that. Marvel, in just like with the X-Men title of like a long time ago when it first started, they put it on indefinite hiatus. So any Marvel Masterworks book you were collecting, even if you were collecting them in order, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get a new volume of this at some point. I was getting them. It's softly canceled right now. So even if you were getting Chris Claremont's X-Men run, you can't finish it in that format. Epic collections. Try getting X-Men Epic collections in order. I want you guys to come back and tell me how hard it is because I know it's very hard because I tried myself. Even if you wanted to
Yeah,
start with Chris Claremont's book, which is I think volume 4 or 5, and people are gonna go, well, MSK, what about getting them all in order? Joke's on you. They don't even print books in order. Just recently, book 14 came out. These books are somewhere in like the 20s now. Book 20 is coming out in January, the second week. They don't print this shit in order. So you can't
right.
do epic collections. And so what about omnibuses? Oh, let me tell you about those Chris Claremont X-Men omnibuses. Just try buying the very first omnibus of X-Men, not Chris
This is
Claremont. Try buying the very first one. That right there costs like $200. People are like, MSK, they reprinted volume 2. Well,
that's two.
thanks for saving me money. That's only going to cost me like $80. So then the actual Chris Claremont stuff, you want to find it sealed on eBay, that could range from $200 to like $300.
It's insane. It's
Yeah,
insanely priced. That's why I much prefer physical reads, right? Like I
me too.
anything I really care
Yeah.
about, I like holding the actual book. But it's in cases like that we're talking about where there's certain comics that you just can't find for a good value printed, and that's why I've been doing all the Chris Claremont digital, and I love the
Yeah.
history of being able to go back through all those old comics and both DC and Marvel. I've been doing it more so with Marvel, but I think
Hmm.
part of that too is just like DC has been doing a great job with actually making those a lot of those original stories like available. Something else that I highlight that I read through last year is the only DC finest I read was the Peacemaker one so far. I have others I want to get through.
Hmm.
But that was really cool seeing like, oh, where this is like where Peacemaker came from and like his big stuff there. And it's like seeing what the original what was it called, charlatan character today was. That was like really cool to see that. And so, but yeah, kudos to DC for like doing all those old like comic reprintings. For
Yeah, and I
Christmas, I just got
know.
the Superman one,
Yeah,
the first superhero or whatever it's called, which is really
yeah.
cool to see.
I have a lot of them. I have not gotten more of the latter ones that have come out, like the Superman Kryptonite Nevermore. I don't think I got that one.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that one either.
There was a new Supergirl one that came out. The last one that I bought was Batman Red Skies because that stuff hadn't been reprinted ever. It was like the
Oh, really?
post-crisis, pre-crisis something Batman stories, and they
Yeah, sure.
finally because it's crazy, guys. DC finally printed that stuff. That's what guys came out in the 80s or some shit,
That's
90s or
crazy.
whatever. Yeah, it's great. Like still to this day, Marvel and DC have not reprinted certain things with
Right.
like certain characters runs, certain
Right.
special issues, and it could be for a lot of different reasons. Maybe those didn't sell very well, so even if they did put them in a collected edition format, it wouldn't matter. Like I know Marvel has did their Marvel Premiere collections, which is basically just them having like a different form of a DC compact comic that costs way more money for no reason whatsoever. They could print. People are saying
stories
you
on
could
those
print.
are weird.
Yeah, because people could say they could just reprint Chris Claremont's X-Men run in that. Do you know how big that would be? That'd be massive.
Yeah.
You would have to do that in like part 1 or some shit. You would have to do the first one would be called Giant Size X-Men because that's where you would call it. Then it would be like whatever story arc his run has in each part. That can't be printed in one Premiere collection.
Right. Yeah, yeah. You know, something I didn't know was reprinted recently from Marvel. I think I just found this out like a few weeks ago. Was all of Age of Apocalypse just had new printings last year. I didn't realize that, or this year, which I didn't realize. And that's something that's been on my list for a long time. And yeah.
So oh
my
god, even DC. So I was watching this guy called Club Chubby Comics. It's an older guy where he
I like the name. I've never heard of him though.
He only does I like his videos. He's more smaller comic book YouTuber. He does only collected editions, no single issues. And he was recommending he had a video called like top 5 Batman stories I keep. So basically all the Batman stories he's read, he's only allowed to keep 5. You heard that if you had a gun to your head, you only can keep 5. He suggested this one Batman story where like Gordon gets shot. It's after like No Man's Land, and that's volume 2. This is the thing with even with me, guys, and I'm a lot older and doing this too. Someone will suggest something, and if it's a volume 2, like, and I love that guy, I'm gonna have him on next week to interview him.
Awesome.
The problem with that is I gotta have volume 1, even if I'm starting at a random point. I gotta have a volume 1. If you go and try and get the Batman trade before that story he recommended, that's like $40. That hasn't been reprinted.
Do you remember what story it is?
I do. Let me go on Amazon right now. Because I was getting volume. I need to get volume 1 first. So I'm gonna have that.
Right. No, I feel that way too. Is it's like this comic book.
The story that he recommended was Batman Officer Down.
Officer Down. See,
yeah,
that's
volume 2. That's volume 2. Volume 1 is where you would start it first. And volume 1, so when I went on Amazon, you know, on Amazon they show you like a rough price of what the thing is gonna be priced at. That shit is $40. Then you go on eBay, yeah, it's roughly about $40 right there. And then this is after No Man's Land, and that's a volume 2 in that kind of era with Greg Rucka and all these other people. So that's the thing for me. I don't mind recommend comic book videos, or I don't mind people recommend anything, but just make sure you tell people this is not a starting book. This is like a book that is after this kind of thing, because that's the hardest thing with comic books is like when people say, oh, is that a volume 1? And it's like, not really, but this is a jumping on point. I guess that's I guess that's something, obviously, you know. Oh my god, I would say this is probably one of my favorite reads of the year. One of them. As far as single issues, yeah.
It didn't make my personal top 10 list, but it's definitely a honorable mention. I'd say I did really like this one.
So, what was your top 5 single issues this year then?
Top 5. Those were not in any specific order. Deadpool, Batman, Battle Beast, DCKO, Sorted Crisis Events, and Absolute Martian Manhunter were my top 5.
Number one. Yeah. Okay, so Absolute Martian Manhunter #1. I read that with Labs. We did a review of it. I would say this. As the artist, garbage. It's so disgusting to look at. But it was good. It came out written wise a lot better than I was hoping. Because when they first announced that, I was
It's
like, that looks like a just disgusting mess.
it's a really unique art style, and so it's one of those things I think is kind of niche, and it either like lands really well or just
Mhm.
misses, and so it just depends. But I thought it was the art was unique, and I can see why you wouldn't care for it, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Because I know collected edition wise coming up, they're finishing J. Michael Straczynski Spider-Man era. Oh God, they're gonna get to Sense Pass. Holy mother of monkey. Jeez.
I've never
Spider-Man
read that.
Brand New Day. I think the omnibus that I'm getting next is gonna be. Let me show my screen right now. Guys, this is the final week of comic book buying for 2025. And this is the week where they just throw a bunch of bullshit. The only thing that's coming out this week is just if you're reading the Ultimates, Ultimate issue 19, and Ultimate Endgame, and Punisher Red Band #4, and if you're reading Predator Kills the Marvel Universe, well, issue 5 drops this week. I mean, you have Sorcerer Supreme, but like, is anyone really gonna be buying that? I don't know. It's all these
Yeah,
have any
I
appeal.
read a comment saying that kind of just threw away a bunch of like Doctor Strange stuff that was going on or something, and so it just kind of did its own thing. But I don't know. It's nothing I'd read anytime soon if I do.
Yeah. Then there's really nothing else here. It's just this is a week where they just kind of throw things at the end of the week because they know most people are just gonna forget about this week because they're all drunk and
Yeah.
high. And you go to the comic book shop just like me. You go with I go with my wife, which I don't have. It's my sock, and I go, hey, can I get my pull list? Sure. Come home. We have sex. I get drunk. I don't even know what the hell I even bought. No one's gonna remember what the hell they bought tonight at all. This is all stuff you probably wouldn't even remember. Oh God. Storm Volume 2. Oh yeah, this didn't this get canceled at like 10 issues? Well, that's just Marvel in general. What am I
Yeah.
saying? I should know better at this point. Cancel it. Actually, New Avengers, that new series they started with, it was good. It was called New Thunderbolts, which got called New
Yeah.
Avengers because the movie did it. Canceled
Right.
at like 13 issues or something like that. Jed McKay's Avengers run is canceled now at 36 issues. Yeah, those are the new cancellations. Those are the only two that I know. But like, good God. That's why most of the time when I come on here, I look at all the trades or collected editions coming out because that'll at least give me some hope. I know Brand New Day Omnibus Volume 2 is coming out. That I want that. Martian Manhunter Volume
There we
1.
go.
Yeah, that is coming out. Yeah. Oh my good lord. That's this week. Now nothing's coming out this week. This week is a wash.
Go back up. That's
This week is pretty
Batman.
stacked. Yeah, this week is
Batman
pretty
has
stacked.
great.
You have Absolute
Yeah.
Superman, Batman #5, Absolute Green Lantern issue 10, Ultimate
Got
Wolverine
Night
issue
Fight down
13.
there.
Yeah,
the Arkham special. That's gonna be cool.
What's this supposed to be based? Oh, it's just supposed to be based off of that place Arkham. It's like a explanation comic on that. Oh, okay.
It's like a one shot going into kind of what that is. Yeah.
Let's see. Emilio, what's up, man? Batman, Green Arrow, The Question, Arcadia issue 2, Spider-Man Noir issue 4. Let's see what else is here.
I read the first 2-3 issues of that Superman. That's really good.
This is with Philip Kennedy Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's moving on after this book. He's gonna go to Marvel for 3 years.
He is.
That's how I know he's getting paid some good money at Marvel.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there has to be a different tier of what people get paid. So if you're on, I would have to assume based off what they signed him for, it would have to be worth it enough to leave DC because most people you hear about talk about the industry say at least DC has its problems with Marvel, but at least DC has like a royalty program where if your book does sell well, you can get paid.
Yeah.
He has to have some level of a deal going over from
Yeah.
DC to Marvel because he can't be on the same kind of contract that a lot of the other people are on. If he's getting a 3-year guarantee contract like
For sure.
Jonathan Hickman, yeah. So he's leaving DC. Hopefully it works out for him because, guys, I sure don't trust Marvel at all. So it better be good money.
Yeah, his I haven't read all of his Hulk stuff, but what I've read of it is pretty good. So I hope it works out for him.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, DC Compact Comics. I gave my Woman of Tomorrow trade away to someone. and I rebought this trade. I'll probably get this because I sometimes double dipped in getting the same book I already bought. I told people I would never be that guy, but you know,
Here you
the
are.
whole, the line from The Dark Knight always seems to come back and haunt me in the ass.
Very true.
Let's see what else is here. Yeah, so Power Rangers, they Boom Studios tried Power Rangers Prime, that failed, and they're going back to Mighty Morphin because nothing else can work because Mighty Morphin is just always going to be the top selling Power Rangers IP. Even though I don't think it's the best one. There's way better Power Ranger series after Mighty Morphin, but doesn't matter. That's what people just buy. So
I don't care for Power Rangers, but hey,
you're not
good for the fans.
Good Lord. Why are you see you're not a nerd. That's good. Power Rangers is for losers. Spider-Man, I mean, yeah, so this is the J. Michael Straczynski's era. So the modern.
Okay.
So yes, they released the first two moderns. This is the next one. Let's see. Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection. Go to Menace. What volume is this number? Good Lord. You guys don't need to see my internet history. This is volume 12. Guys, they even collect Spider-Man still. This is 12. This is, oh my Lord. Laura Kinney. Spider-Man Brand New Day Omnibus. I am for sure getting this. This is, I already own the first omnibus. I'll be getting this. This is that's certainly a cover. Certainly a nice boob cover. I like them. Oh, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
some decent stuff.
Hunter x Hunter, Volume 38. Anything else for this? DCKO number 3 is that.
Excited. Transformers is great as well.
It's so good after Daniel Warren Johnson left the book.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora on it.
Okay,
so.
I know a lot of people were kind of hesitant after DWJ.
That's
left.
fair. Like, he did a great 24 issues there, and so, but Robert Kirkman I think is doing a good job so far. But at the same time, it's only 3 issues in, so
he may just start running it down
developing.
at some point. He goes, Optimus and Megatron start making love. It's like, all right,
see what happens.
Wonder Woman Black and Gold 2026 special. DC just pointing out here, someone will eventually put. Oh my God, someone's gonna have Wonder Woman on a freaking sofa and like 6 black guys next to her. Just pointing out that is leading into that. The Joker's
logo is horrendous on that comic. Like the black doesn't even I can't even tell that said black at first.
Yeah, this is disgusting. They should have swapped the cup. What is this? Is this written by Tom King? All right. All right. That's when you know you're like, all right, they made people buy that book to get the variant covers. We know that probably. Just speculation there. What else is here? X-Men Epic. So this is, even if you guys don't have these in order yet, I would recommend getting these only because if these ever go to print, at least you have it. So you're not overspending later on. This is volume 11! Volume fucking 11! Why is these things not printed in order?
That's so funny.
What the fuck? I don't
get. Those are issues I'm going to be actually getting into soon digitally.
I don't get these people. Absolute death of Superman. You know what's going to be great in life, guys? Death, taxes, and DC will never not get a chance to reprint this. This has been reprinted in every format. Everything.
I mean, it's understandable, though. It's arguably the most iconic Superman story ever, so.
Might be one of the most important comics as far as pushing them into mainstream stardom too. So
this is true. It is one of the biggest comics for
Unlimited. That's pretty much it. Yeah, Iron Man Armor Wars Omnibus. Yeah, Iron Man getting some more Omnibus love. If you guys are collecting this in order, you do have Iron. See, this is weird though, because they're releasing an Iron Man Omnibus Volume 4 later in the year around June. Are they going to be double dipping with that? Because that's the problem when you have omnibuses centered on specific character arcs. Is if you are getting them volume numbered, they're going to have to double dip with that. It's going to have those issues in, or unless you're just going to skip them, or unless you go, hey, we'll just kind of count this as volume 4.5. And it's like, all right, Marvel, good Lord. Secret Wars, Battle World. That's Jonathan Hickman's run, I think. Hardcover.
This is the, is that all the spin-off stuff?
No, this is probably Michael Bendis' run.
Yeah, that's all the a lot of the spin-off stuff.
Okay, gotcha. What else is here? No, that's Wizard of Oz. No one's buying that. Boom, stop. Dynamite, stop it. People say there's Supernatural comics. That's crazy. Interesting. I guess there really is comics for everything at this point.
Yeah, what if Pisa have comics that anyone think of?
Third week of January, before we get into the review, scroll down to the trade section. Incredible Hulk, Volume 6. Young Justice Omnibus, Volume 2. Scarlet Witch trade. DC's Finest, The Doom Patrol, The Death of
what's
Doom
in that
Patrol.
one?
What's in it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey! Too much porn. It doesn't load. The Thing, The King of Yancey Street. Oh, the second omnibus for Robert Vendi's Green Lantern run.
Nice.
Bishop's Crossing. I guess that's all the good stuff. 20. What the fuck? That's crazy. Collects the Doom Patrol issues 103 through 121, showcase issues 94 through 96, and stories from Superman family issues 191 through 193.
Interesting.
576 pages. God damn. Volume 20 in Bishop's Crossing. So I would just say, if you guys want X-Men stuff, even if it's not in order, and I know that might annoy you, I'd say just get it. Because reasons, as we've explained here. But yeah, before we go to the review, any other collected editions you read this year that you would recommend for people, or you would rank pretty highly on your list?
I mean, I've read a lot, and so like it's hard for me to just think of something right off the bat. If you want a good indie comic, one that came out this year, and I was actually able to, I released an interview
Cyberfrog
last week. I released an interview, I think last week, with Michael Schwartz, who's the writer of Armored. I highly suggest checking that out, which is his first time writing a comic, and that's really good. A really nice self-contained 5 issues, and now he's working on the next arc, which is really cool. So,
okay,
I highly recommend. It's from a smaller publisher called Clover Press. They just started pretty recently, like in the last year or two. If you remember earlier this year, there was a Kickstarter for reprinting the classic Spider-Man newspaper strip comics from like late 60s, early 70s. That's from Clover Press, as well as their reprintings of the old Dick Tracy comics. And so, yeah, that's something cool I'd recommend.
Also, you did a review of the first trade paperback for Daniel Warren Johnson's Transformers run. Transformers Volume 1, Robots in Disguise. If you're asking me, I think that's the best. Because single issues, I can't count that because I didn't read them in single issues, but I did read it collected edition wise. That has to be one of the best collected edition volumes I've ever read. It's just so
it's amazing.
Good.
It's one of the best comics of recent years. It was actually me and Warren who reviewed that, and we just spent like that entire hour on discussing over it because it's so freaking good.
Yeah. I remember I read it for the first time and I just couldn't put it down. I just had to I had to make sure I read every bit of dialogue to make sure I didn't miss anything. It's so good. Damn good. Volume 2 is good. Volume 2 is really good itself, but it's not as good as Volume 1. Volume 1 is just so perfect in every single way. Volume 2 is really good. I'm not saying Volume 2 is a step down or anything. It's good for both volumes, but Volume 1 is just a slam dunk banger.
Yeah. It begins the series in the best possible way, and it's just amazing.
Did you ever get to end up reading Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1?
I've read Volume 1, and I have Volume 2 in my giant pile to read.
I have, Volume 1, right? That one, that has to be my favorite. I think did I review that this year? Or I was last year? I don't remember. All the stuff starts blending together. Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1 by Jonathan Hickman, I would also have there. That was just another gem. That was just really good. The other one I would say is Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern run.
His is so good.
Yes, but that first volume is just God. I know people say it's a little cheesy, but I think cheese works with a character like Hal Jordan. That kind of thing has to work with a little bit of cheese. But that is very good. I would always tell people if you like Hal Jordan and you don't want to go and buy some super expensive omnibus or some super expensive compendium, just get that volume. It's like $7 on Amazon. It's 120 pages. It has the 2 Night Terror tie-in issues that you need as that bridge to get to the next, I think it's the 3rd issue in the book.
I remember that pissed me off when that happened. It was 2 issues and then they pause it. It's like, come on. I didn't read any of the Night Terror stuff. Just
I only
actually,
read
that's a
the
lie. I
Night Terror
got
stuff that was
one.
in that book. Only Night Terror stuff I read was in that book, and thank God. Crazy thing, Jeremy Adams wrote those. Thank God, because if those were things written by Tom King, I'd have been like, all right, time to get the rope. They're like walking into a supermarket knowing you don't have food stamps, so you can buy Captain Crunch. God, that's what we need. What else was there?
Oh boy.
Collected editions, yeah. Those are the ones that really stood out. I think one of my favorite single issues we reviewed this year has to be Spider-Man Wolverine issue 1. That was just, it's like those things that you don't even think's gonna be good, and it just turns out to be just like, God. What else was there? Oh my goodness. If you got, okay, so I've read almost all the Absolute Batman issues. If you count the Zoo arc, which is the first 6, even though I think Scott Snyder messed up on that counting, because it would be, I think it was supposed to be 5 issues for the first arc, but they don't count issue 4, even though it's in the same kind of thing. I count the Zoo arc being 6 issues, but
I think originally that arc was going to be 5, and then they extended it to 6.
Yeah. So if you count the Zoo arc, which is Absolute Batman Volume 1, that was, I wouldn't have that over
great.
like Daniel Warren Johnson's or the John Hickman or Jeremy Adams stuff, but that was also very good. It's very good.
The
very entertaining.
Absolute Batman is amazing. The Bane arc that just finished was really good. I can't wait to read the Absolute Joker one. I have that sitting on my pile ready to read soon.
Hell yeah. What the heck? Oh my goodness. I thought there was a moaning cat outside. Maybe the cat was like trying to get away from something. Cats are I don't know what's worse, dogs or cats. Actually,
I love them both.
Before we get to the review, last thing. You see that viral video of that lion that was getting nagged at by his little cub and he just whacked it away?
No, I have not.
It's this 10-second video of this lion who slaps away its cub because it starts yelling at him, and the mom just kind of scratches the dad lion. By far and away the cutest thing ever. It just goes to show you, no one likes little bratty dogs or cats. Well, they're part of the cat family. Yeah, they're big giant cats. So no one likes bratty cats. Cats are annoying, but I like cats. I prefer cats because they don't bark, and dogs bark, and I want to throw them at a wall. Actually. Good Lord. Oh, you did a review of Batman Santa Claus Silent Night. They did another 4 issue.
That was a bit ago, yeah. Yeah, I haven't read that one, but that was fun. Yeah.
Santa Claus and Batman. I mean, you could just sign me up. Just sign me up. Okay, so Matt Fraction's, I only read issue 1. I know Laps doesn't like it that much, but issue 1 of Matt Fraction's Batman run, I was like, I liked it, and it was all right, I guess. There were some decisions there, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, why does this?" You just assume someone is sniffing crack at this editorial team.
I thought it was a really good start for a new era. That's actually another one that's in my top 10 because I feel like people forget that you can have a lighter-hearted, brighter-toned Batman, and I think this is a good different take on what Batman can also be that people forget that Batman is capable of being.
And now you're just going over Smallville. Yeah, you're retreated back to doing Hey, I love Smallville.
I've never watched Smallville, and so that's been a lot of fun. I think 3 episodes left of covering season 1.
Season 1, it's nice little small scale stuff that I like about season 1. I think my least favorite season of all time in the show is definitely season 8. I think that is just by far and away the worst one. I think season 9 does a nice little bounce back. Favorite season has to be season 6. Season 6. I want to say 6, 7. I'm becoming one of you guys these days. Season 6 was very good. Season 7 was very good. Season 9 was really good. Most of the show was good. I would say they have one stinker season, which is season 8. That's what I would say. Most seasons to me were very entertaining, very well done. Acting was not cheesy to any certain degree. Like Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor is just the best Lex Luthor.
It is really good.
Yeah, he just knocks it out of the park all the time. Warren, what's up, man? How are you doing? So, time to get into reviewing juicy, epic goodness. No, not my sex life, guys. Not that. We can't review that. All right. Let me do this really quickly. How do I make myself prettier, Dingus?
You're asking the wrong person that question.
You're supposed to do the invincible meme. That's the funny part. You don't.
You don't.
Someone said, "How do I get my food stamps?" That's the funny part. You don't. Good lord. See, it's those kind of lighthearted moments that we need in life when things hit the frickin' fan. But I did, because so for invincible, when people ask me, I have Compendium 1. I need to finish buying the second 2 compendiums. I have only just the first one.
As well.
I have the Ultimate Collection over there, but I was buying those hardcover, and then I just kind of stopped, and I went, it's easier for this. Okay, just getting these is easier. So I did the same thing that Marvel did. I've come back around full circle. So let's have some fun. Hey, everyone, I am MSK, and I'm black and not good looking and not rich. All right, that was a joke. These are all jokes. Let's get into a gigabanger. Hey, everyone, I am MSK, a.k.a. Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on DCX Sonic the Hedgehog issue 1. So if you guys know me, you guys know how much I love DC and Sonic the Hedgehog as 2 IPs that I've, loved throughout my entire life. I've told the stories a lot of times throughout these videos and stuff like that, or the MSK show, which you guys are watching it live. I started with Batman, the animated series, and that kind of catapulted me into loving DC, because after that, I watched Superman, the animated series, and after that, I saw like Spider-Man, the animated series, and X-Men, and all that other stuff. But it truly was Batman, the animated series, and Superman, the animated series, and the Justice League animated series that they had, and Batman Beyond, and Teen Titans animated series that really catapulted me into loving DC. And then, with Sonic the Hedgehog, I started with the video games. Actually, I started with it was a Sonic 2D kind of side scroller game. I think it was a Sonic Advance. I bought the second one, and I liked playing that. And this is back in the day when Sonic X would come on like 4Kids and stuff, and you have the whole like intro of "Gotta Go Fast" and all that stuff. What's crazy is that's the only thing good about that show is that intro, because that show is pretty freaking bad. Probably gonna have a lot of people getting pitchforks from me after that. But Sonic, for me, always love the video games. Sonic Adventure Battle 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. That has the best soundtrack, in my opinion. Best soundtrack for a video game ever. To me, Sonic Adventure Battle 2, that soundtrack is just like, it's like an eargasm anytime I hear one of those soundtracks. Even the ones that aren't good are still bangers for a lot of people. I've really enjoyed the Sonic the Hedgehog movies that have come out. I think all 3 of them are very good, very entertaining.
Yeah.
Especially the third one. The third one came out even better than I thought it was going to come out. I was like, hopefully they can do this kind of good. And it was like, all right, you got me. This is just peak epicness on screen constantly. So
it was really cool.
So when, DC and IDW announced that they were going to be doing a crossover together, I mean, we've had a lot of crossovers in comic books a lot recently, because I know people are like kind of thinking like, wait, Marvel and DC haven't crossed over in a long time outside of like the recent books that have just dropped this year, right? So no, so Marvel would have like intercompany crossovers, like, so it'd be like Wolverine versus Predator, Predator versus Spider-Man, Black Panther versus Predator, Aliens versus Avengers, Captain America versus Aliens right now.
Right.
You also have, that came out this year, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Naruto. We had that came out. You had Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. You also had coming up, I think, next year, TMNT Godzilla. That's going to come out next year.
1 or 2 of that's out. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of crossovers recently, but this was the one that I was really, really hyped about, because just seeing the interactions between the Justice League and the Sonic cast is just stuff you just dream about as a kid. So, and I will say this, Sonic and the Flash, like teaming up and basically having nice little banter between each other was so awesome. That was the picture perfect banter between these two. And I'll be honest here, I know these weird furry weirdos on Twitter are going to hate me for this. God, just hear me out here, guys. Flash is way faster than Sonic. It's not an actual competition. The Flash, quite literally, guys, is faster than Superman. Do you guys know how fast Superman is just by flying? Just in that. There was a comic book, I forgot the actual run and the writer, but this is just a feat the Flash has. The Flash was racing Superman or someone like that, someone of his caliber to race, stops mid-race, goes and helps people, saves those people, then comes back to a race and meets that person there and is still outracing them. That's how fast, you know how fast you would have to be moving to be doing that? You would have to be moving at speeds faster than the speed of light to be doing these things. You know, any Flash, like
Yeah.
Wally West is faster than Sonic. Like you could say Jay Garrick is faster, Bart Allen's faster. Like the Flash guys is truly like, that's why every speedster is compared to the Flash. Any iteration, it could be Barry, could be Wally, could be Jay Garrick, could be Bart, could be anyone. Reverse Flash is faster than Sonic. Actually, if Sonic met Reverse Flash, he would strangle him and snap his neck, but that's because Eobard Thawne is fucking insane. So it's putting out here, Sonic is not faster than the Flash. It's just kind of fun to see them kind of banter with each other about how fast they are. It's just something. But I'll ask you, man, since these are two big IPs, are you more, because I know you're more experienced with both, or you're just more experienced with one of them?
More just DC. DC is one of my favorite universes ever. I prefer DC more than Marvel. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still really like Marvel. But DC is like, if I could only pick one of the two, you know, at gunpoint, I would pick DC. And
yeah,
so yeah, DC I love. Sonic I've dabbled in, I would say. I played some of the like Wii games growing up.
so it means you played Sonic Colors.
I did play Sonic Colors.
Good game. It was a nice bounce back after Sonic 06, yeah. Did you play Black Knight came out on that? I never played Black Knight.
That one I did not play.
Okay.
I recall also playing Unleashed early on.
So that's 06. Yeah. I think that is.
No, Sonic 06 is just called Sonic the Hedgehog. That was the one that came out in 2006.
You're right.
But Unleashed is the one where he turns into like a werehog, I think they call it. I played a little bit of that one. Oh, there's one Wii game I played a lot. It's like Secret of the Rings or something like that I played a lot of back then. And so, but yeah, I've played Sonic here and there. A few years ago, I went back and played through the original two Sega Genesis Sonic games as part of the original Origins collection. And so that was pretty fun. I played the last Sonic game. Well, wait, I played a little bit of the Generations X Shadow that came out. But then I also...
Sonic Generations, that was very good. Yeah, I like that one.
I also played actually, regrettably, I beat all of Frontiers, which is like one of the worst ever video game endings of all time. And so...
Okay, so that's the one for the Switch, right?
Well, it's on Switch. It's on PS5, PS4.
Sonic Frontiers. Yeah,
that's the one they tried to do. That's like open world.
Oh yeah. So no, Sonic Frontiers. I remember the game. It's the one where it's the giant open world one where you can do a bunch of stuff in it. Yeah, it feels like this one just came and went. It feels like people just don't remember it at all.
I was looking forward to it. I thought the idea was cool, and I heard it was solid but not great. And, you know, it's a game you can have fun with, but it definitely had its issues. But that ending was, like, horrible. It was so bad. One of my friends was watching me beat the game, and I was going to let him borrow my copy of it afterwards. And then after he saw that ending, he's like, you know what? I don't think I want to play this anymore. And so, but yeah.
Yeah, I will say this. Like, Sonic games have that. Either they're literally, Sonic games are either the best thing you ever played, or they're, like, just fucking miserable, honestly. Like, man, people don't know how bad Sonic 06 was. Good Lord, that was bad. Awful. Literally glitches everywhere. But I will say, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog, the whole, you know, legacy behind that's always been something I've really, really liked. But Sonic comic books was something that I never actually was, I would say, exposed to as much because, you know, my history in comics is a little bit different than a lot of people based off the area that I live. So for me, Sonic the Hedgehog, I've been getting a lot of more of the Sonic collected editions more from IDW. So like they have these oversized hardcovers they put out. I've gotten the first 3. I need to get the other 2. I have every single Sonic the Hedgehog trade paperback from IDW all the way.
Oh, cool.
I have, yeah. So I need to get, correction. I need to get volume 20. After I get volume 20, I'll have all of them. So I have all the volumes from 1 through 19. I have to review them eventually, but I do have them just in case I can go.
Humble Bundle, if you're not familiar with that is, it's a place where you can buy digital games and bundles that they have. Part of the whatever you buy will go towards charity. And one time they did a Sonic comic bundle. I don't remember all the volumes that were in it, but I bought that one whenever that happened a bit earlier this year.
And I think, it's good that we have this as a crossover, because if this actually sold very well, hopefully it sold well, and hopefully we get another one coming up in 2026 at some point. Because I remember I was looking at the ICV2 sales charts when this was when this was a 4-issue miniseries as a thing that was coming out month to month, and it was in like the 30s. It was a solid 20 to 30 ranking title. You would think that something of this caliber, of just the name itself, just the name, not what's in the book, just the name itself, would be like a top 10 book. But this was also when like the Absolute Universe was just kicking everyone's ass, so it's understandably so that it was knocked down a little bit more. But this, if you guys don't want to get the single issues, this is already out in trade paperback format, so you can read all the issues at once. This was a big thing for me since I love both the IPs. I wanted to just savor every moment of it to go through. So let's start this off. So starting it off, we have the dreaded Darkseid coming into Sonic's world, and you're already thinking like, okay, shit's about to get real, because it automatically does. And this is the thing that happens with this book that I really enjoyed, and why it would be one of my favorite single issues of 2025. You don't have to do all this massive explaining that a lot of people think you have to do to get your point across with how the IPs could interact. This is the way that DC used to function with their animated movies. You kind of just throw the characters in there at a random point, just make a good story around that, and you can make it work. And that's kind of what they did here. And it is explained why they're here, what's going on. But they automatically open up with the Sonic the Hedgehog world, because that is pivotal. Because if you guys were actually reading the synopsis leading up to this, and when I was doing videos on my comic book YouTube channel about it, you would already know what was going to happen. But if you're someone that doesn't involve yourself in any of that internet stuff, because you're not a loser, a stinky, smelly, fat nerd that buys comic books and reads them, you would go like, wow, this is pretty odd. So for some reason, Darkseid would invade Sonic's world. But as you know, Darkseid is invading Sonic's world with his giant ship. And then after that, Sonic, Amy get ready to fight. Tails is like, what in the world is that? Yeah, a giant planet-sized thing invading your world. You'd be like, all right, that's pretty crazy. After that, the parademons come out right there. And, those are Darkseid's little minion. It'd be like foot soldiers for the Shredder. That's the best way to think of parademons. They're the little minions that the heroes fight to get to the big guy. So parademons come out. They start having this battle with these parademons to get away from them. And then Sonic is like, hey, we got to tap out. There's too many of these. We got to go. Sonic starts racing to get away from them. And the art is really good. The art is very, very good. It's very majestic. It's very bright. And it's not overly bright where it's like, you want to rip all the hair out of your head. The artist on this was Bryce Thomas. Did a fantastic job on the art for the book.
And Matt Herms did the colors, which he did a really good job with that as well.
Did a very good job. Yes. So Sonic after that takes Amy and Tails, and he rushes them away from the battlefield, because they're in, I forgot which part of the Sonic world they're in, but they're in a part of the Sonic world where they're invading. So then Darkseid's ship ends up going to Angel Island, which, as you guys know, has the Master Emerald, and Knuckles is tasked with defending the Master Emerald. Very similar if you guys have seen the Sonic live action movies. It's the same thing right here. It's basically the same thing you could just be familiar with. Knuckles is defending the Master Emerald. He ends up beating the Parademon. Then after that, I forget the guy's name. Desaad ends up telling Darkseid. The Father Box also detects that the gem has the power to neutralize what we're searching for. And Darkseid says and eliminate it. So Darkseid orders Desaad to destroy Angel Island, which is holding the Master Emerald, because the Master Emerald could basically turn off the Chaos Emerald's powers. And then, he has Knuckles' Angel Island sink. So he just sinks the planet. I want you guys to understand how powerful that machine would have to be to sink a planet. Like an island-sized platform like that island would be. Mm-hmm. So we're already dealing with some pretty powerful characters there. And you guys know how powerful Darkseid really is. Even just the base Darkseid that you see in most iterations like this, even that version right there is really powerful. Just that version himself is that strong. So Darkseid has to decide sink Angel Island. And after that, we jump back to Sonic and Sonic holding Amy and Tails' hands as he races them into the city. Then we come across the Flash at the meeting that everyone wanted to see. Flash and Sonic finally meet each other for the first time, and because he leaves Amy and Tails behind, Sonic goes, "I'm going ahead," and then Flash is going, "What are you doing here?" You've got. And Sonic just says, "You got the wrong guy still. I like your hustle." And then Flash says, "Sorry, guess you're one of the locals, huh? Hang back. I'll handle the parademon." Sonic says, "That's adorable. You can help out if you can keep up." Just nice little
it's
banter,
fun banter.
Right there.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I will say their first meeting was awesome. If they ever make this into a movie, that would it would be like that same guy who was beating off to Sydney Sweeney in the theaters, actually. It would be like that level for me. But I'll ask you so far, what did you think about the book so far as we got to this point?
It's a good beginning. It's good that it throws you right into it. With these crossovers, you really don't need like much setup. Some of the ones that I don't think work that well are the ones with too much setup. Like, for example, the TMNT and Godzilla one that just recently came out, like, it was too much setup versus this one gets right into the action. And yeah, we already talked about the art was great. It leaves a great first impression. I like how, we immediately get to see Darkseid's ship, which is very, what's his name esque? Dr. Eggman esque for the Sonic world.
Yeah.
And so I like seeing that cartoony aspect, and the way these parademons are depicted in this, I really like as well. They're making it's a really cool cartoony way to portray them. Which just the art in this is really a nice standout. And I really like as well with Darkseid here, you don't see him fully. I like that little panel where you just see his red eyes here.
Yeah,
he's commanding Desaad there.
Yeah,
right there. And so, yeah, it's a good beginning to set up the threat.
And then after Sonic and Flash have their banter, Flash just says, "Listen, kid, I'm the Flash. I'm speed personified." And then Sonic just says, "Yeah, I'm speed perfected." They look both back at each other and just race again. Oh God, fun stuff.
Yeah, the art there when they're racing, especially in that big middle panel here, is really cool. Like, the kinetic motion on it is like fantastic.
This right here, oh my God, this is the best stuff right there. Good Lord, man.
It's really good.
Hey, and just want to let you guys know, as a little side trash talk moment, this book was done probably like 3 weeks, not done in 5 years. All right, outside of that. So, we get to a point where Silver is battling a parademon, and Silver ends up getting help from John Stewart.
Let's go.
So John Stewart ends up protecting Silver, and they have like, are you psychic? No, just limited issue alien tech.
Right.
What about you? Alien? Metahuman? No, just a hedgehog. He's like, he goes like, "What the fuck? What the hell's a hedgehog?" Just he says,
yeah,
just a hedgehog, not one that can fly. And it's like, so essentially, guys, Silver, I don't know if you watch Dragon Ball Z, but like, Silver is like Trunks. He's a being that comes from a different time period. He's like a time traveler. So that's essentially, long story short, what Silver is. So after that, what's crazy? The only issue I would throw to this book is you didn't have to waste advertisements on the Absolute Universe. You could have saved all these advertisements for the very back of the book. I like the way that Sumina Unlimited does it, where you save all the advertisements for the back of the book.
Oh,
break your reading immersion. That's me. I like when ads are just always in the very, very back. Because, like, seeing that, it's like, okay, come on. Like, we know the Absolute Universe is selling good. And it's like, this is not even the one you would put in this book. Like, in this book, right here, you should put DC All In #1 as an advertising book. You don't put Absolute Green Lantern there. You're gonna this is a book that a lot of people are gonna buy because based off the crossover. But after that, we get to the parademons trying to attack a being in this city. Batman and Shadow end up coming across each other because the broody guys who actually who had tragedies meet each other. Sonic and Shadow and Batman meeting. That was really cool. That nice little stare down, and they just left.
I love it's just silence, no dialogue. It's only they tag team the parademon, look at each other, then run off together.
Then after that, Amy and Tails are walking around the city, and then a giant, we'll say a parademon, a robot, some sort of villain, attacks them, and then Cyborg and Wonder Woman end up saving them, actually. So the gang's all here now. Booyah. Oh, God. Don't tell Ray Fisher. This is not Ray Fisher. He didn't like saying booyah. But the Cyborg does say booyah.
That's how you know it's a real cyborg. That's how you know it's a good cyborg.
Just the nice little bit of trash talk right there. Nice effort. Can you lend us some more aid? And that's what Wonder Woman says is her first line of dialogue in the book. And then after that, this character, Calibac, is about to attack. Let's see. This character, Calibac, is about to attack Wonder Woman and Cyborg, Amy and Tails, and then Knuckles just knocks him out or knocks him away. And then Calibac is saying something about, basically you can't beat me, and the Superman just stomps him in the back. Superman just makes his first entrance, all aura farming, no words, just completely one shot at a guy, because that's just what Superman is. And then Superman says, I wasn't done with him, Superman. Sorry, Knuckles. Thanks for softening him up for me. Now the only problem with that part of the book right there is you guys are probably going to go, how does he know him? That's the only critique I could give the book outside of the ad placements. They don't know at this moment right here when this happened, because this probably had to have been a mess up of dialogue. They don't know their names at that moment. They don't know them unless they did research in the next book that I don't know about, or unless they already completely knew them from coming through this wormhole or whatever, because he doesn't know them. They introduce themselves in the next part of the book after this disgusting Batman issue 2 ad.
That is true. I didn't catch that when I read through it.
It has to be that right there. I read that. I was like, that's a plot hole. They don't know them yet. This is their first time interacting with these guys.
Right. Literally in 2 pages, we get the introductions between everyone.
But don't worry, dude. Don't worry. We have Batman Hush 2 by Jim Lee. Then this is actually Hush 3, because he didn't like Heart of Hush because reasons, obviously. But guys, this book is still late. Don't worry about that. It's Jim Lee. Things will always be late. So after that, we get into them all finally meeting each other in this panel right here. This was done very good right here as far as the art style of showing all of them and encompassing them in that moment. So we end up to a point where Sonic says, hey, we're all here. Can anyone bring us up to speed? Especially for Flash, since he's so slow. Just always taking jabs at the Flash, man. God, he's just not letting him up. So they all introduce each other. People aren't going to like this probably, but Superman says truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. I don't agree with it either. Should be the American way, but that's just what it says. Superman introduces him. So you get Superman, the Justice League, and this is Superman, Wonder Woman, John Stewart, Green Lantern, Flash, Cyborg, and Batman. That is your Justice League, and all of the Sonic crew gets introduced right here. And then Shadow, Knuckles says, enough with the pleasantries. Who's responsible for this, and when do we make him pay? And Cyborg ends up explaining Darkseid to them and what Darkseid is doing. So essentially, long story short, Darkseid is essentially tired of the scope of the multiverse that's in the DC universe. He wants to venture into other multiverses and see what they have to offer in terms of power, because Darkseid is mega power hungry, because he is also insanely omega level OP, actually. So Cyborg says his name is Darkseid. He's bad news, conquering worlds and looking for the anti-life equation. We've stopped his ambitions in the past. Now he's launched a mobile satellite called the Ragnarok that can cross dimensions. Our guess is he's seeking worlds and powers outside the normal scope of our multiverse to fuel his conquest. To find your world, Darkseid had to cast a wide net. I have some of his tech integrated into my system, so I picked up on his search. We were able to make a boom tube of our own to try and intercept him before things got bad. So then Silver says he's after the Chaos Emeralds, which, I mean, if anyone knows what Sonic is, you would think, what else would he be there for? Just, I don't know. He's not there for the tea. He's not there to get some soda at a supermarket, And Sonic's like, always with the emeralds. Yeah, then Chaos Emeralds are pretty powerful items. They're like essentially like the Dragon Balls for Dragon Ball. They're very powerful items. These things quite literally are just insanely powerful items.
It seems like that's essentially what Sonic just stole that from Dragon Ball. It literally makes them go Super Saiyan,
Yeah. And then after that, the Justice League talk a bit more with the Sonic cast, and John Stewart basically says with that kind of power, he could fuel the Ragnarok and destroy countless worlds. Batman also says, or bypasses search and manifest the anti-life equation directly. And the anti-life equation is not something you want to mess with. I think it's pretty deadly, actually. And Wonder Woman says, is there a way to counter their power? That was, but Darkseid blew it up. Yeah, Darkseid sank that Angel Island because the Master Emerald could neutralize the Chaos Emeralds. That's the balance of power between them. And after that, Shadow's like, I don't got time for this. I'm leaving.
I'm mad at.
I'm mad at stuff. It's like, all right, I'm gonna head out. Classic meme right there. And then Batman says, I'll go talk to him. And Batman just basically, it's kind of like a moment where he basically says, who did you lose? Who couldn't you protect? Batman tells him his people that he couldn't protect, the people that he lost, and what his desire is. And he says, you're a valuable asset in stopping Darkseid. Likewise, we'd be valuable to you. He says, I see. You better be worth the trouble. So Batman, understands Shadow on a certain extent. Both are like loner type people who've lost loved ones that, have a decent story. So they come up with a plan. They're going to have Cyborg and Tails work on something to stop Darkseid. And then they go, well, we're not going to wait for you guys to do that. So they're going to go and search for Darkseid or the other Chaos Emeralds because he's looking for them too. So Tails and Cyborg are together. And then we have these other awesome panels you guys already saw on social media when this book came out early in the year. Tails, Cyborg. Then you get Superman with Knuckles, Amy with Wonder Woman, Batman and Shadow on motorcycles riding together.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Tails and Cyborg working on tech together. Silver and John just sitting there in the sky talking. And Sonic and Flash just racing like usual.
Yep.
And then the Superman part was actually really, really cool because Knuckles says your whole world is gone and it remains poison. It remains poison. That's too cruel. Maybe Superman just says, maybe I cherish my life on Earth. It makes it all the more important I keep it safe. See, Superman is just the ever good guy. And then after that,
Prime Boy Scout.
That's true. And then Sonic and Flash are running on water. And then, Sonic basically says, what you see is what you get. I'm just a hedgehog who loves adventure. Just this dialogue is so awesome between all the characters all the way. Wonder Woman is talking to Amy about having an invisible jet. And Amy's like, what the fuck is it? You have an invisible jet? Because who forget, Wonder Woman also can fly. And her second movie was disgustingly ass trash bad. So
don't talk about that one.
That's like Catwoman. You just put that in the do not discuss pile because your brain would explode from talking about it. So
exactly.
After that, Sonic and Flash end up still running on water in this very last panel of the book. Flash said, is this the place? Sonic says, yep. When in doubt, start with South Island and go from there. Flash says, oh crap, you got it in one blue. And then they stop and they see Darkseid right there, actually. Is that the guy Red? Yeah. And then Darkseid just says, it all starts with this, a gem containing the ultimate power. And that's how the first issue of DC X Sonic the Hedgehog issue 1 comes to an end. What an awesome first issue for a crossover between two really massive IPs, legendary IPs with a lot of history, spanning video games, movies, television, comic books, promotional material like posters, everything. This was honestly everything I could hope for when this could happen, because I love these two properties and seeing them all interact. The art was just really good. The dialogue outside of that one little plot hole right there was very, very entertaining, very good. The action was really well balanced. I mean, you just had a lot of just hit all the notes for me as far as a crossover 4-issue miniseries. So I'll ask you, man, any other final thoughts and opinions on just this issue 1?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it does everything that a issue 1 should do. It brings you right into it. You get a bunch of great action with it. You get to see a bunch of fun character moments with each other, some of them a little more than others, but they get right to the pairings right away. So, those certain characters interact with each other in a fun way. So I like how they focus on essentially having a page for each of them. And so it was just a solid, really fun paced issue. And yeah, it was just a great start. For me, not being quite as big of a Sonic fan, but I still enjoy Sonic. Like I'm a casual fan of Sonic. It made me really happy, and it was good enough to make me end up buying the rest of the series. So
Yeah, this is something I would definitely double dip for. Like, I already own the single issues, but yeah, I gotta just have that trade because I'm just a disgustingly weird, odd person who buys comic books and doesn't pay his rent or his internet bill. So don't need to buy deodorant. But it's crazy how people function like this in nerd communities. They can buy all this expensive shit, but they can't buy $1 deodorant from a 99-cent store. That is utterly insane. But as you guys know, for me, my final thoughts and opinions on DC X on the Hedgehog issue #1 was awesome. Just dialogue, good, the colors, art, great. Action was really good. It was nice and introductory, where it's not just like a bunch of info dumping,
Yeah.
exposition dumping. It was like fucking hell. Imagine a whole book just full of exposition dumping. That'd have been horrible, but that wasn't this. So yeah,
Yeah.
a great start, and I can't wait to finish the rest of this miniseries with Dingus Den as we review the rest of these issues in the coming weeks. Also, before we head out of this specific video, make sure you guys go and subscribe to Dingus Den's YouTube channel. I'll leave his channel linked in the description box below. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you've not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace. All right. That was good.
Yeah.
Anything you want to promote or anything you want to cover and talk about before we head out, or you just got something you got to go to? Oh, I forgot. It's like 8 o'clock your time, I think.
No, I don't have much else going on right now. Let me see here. I'm trying to think of I don't know. I mean, just in general, right now, actually, as we're talking, the finale to Stranger Things just dropped. So one of the biggest shows of the generation is coming to a close. I'm going to be watching that tomorrow on the big screen, so I'm looking forward to that. Yesterday I watched both Avatar 3 and Marty Supreme. They're both worth a watch.
Wait a minute. You watched Avatar and 5
Yes.
hours dedicated. How do you remember
Yeah.
both of these movies? How? That's insane.
I mean, Avatar is not necessarily, I'm saying this in a negative way, but like Avatar is a lot of kind of more of the same in some aspects. In a lot of aspects, but Marty Supreme, that is a must-watch movie. Like, that's in my top movies of the year list. It is fantastic. I highly suggest everyone to go check that out.
Yep. Anything? Sorry. What else is there? Oh, I mean, the Absolute Universe was revealed to have been doing very well, like sales-wise. But as you guys know, with so many sales in comic books, this is so disingenuous because it doesn't work like sales would work for like a regular business. Comic book sales work an entirely different way. But what else do you have planned coming up on the YouTube side? Anything you got planned coming up that you would like to let the audience know about?
Absolutely. So midnight my time, so that's 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. I am dropping the 4th part of my Batman The Long Halloween comic dub, where me and friends get together and we voice the comic. And so what I've been doing is, for anyone who knows Long Halloween, each of the issues take place on a particular holiday. And so what we've been doing is we've been dropping each of those issues on the holiday it comes out. So obviously we began on Halloween, then on Thanksgiving we dropped the Thanksgiving issue. Last week was Christmas, so we dropped the Christmas one, and I just finished editing it today, the New Year's Eve one. So it's actually coming out right on New Year's for me, and so go check that out in like 3.5 hours. And so yeah, that's always fun time. Do some character voices and stuff. One of my friends does a really good Joker impression in that. So like definitely go like check that out.
Yeah. Anything coming up as far as like collabs? I know you and Warren do content every Wednesday,
we're
right?
next usually Thursday nights.
Thursday,
so we are next week. We're going to be talking about Cobra Commander, continuing our Energon universe review like discussion series that we're doing there. And so I also have a review of the original Magic miniseries coming out. And so that's recorded. I just need to make the thumb and put that out. And I got some other reviews here and there planned, but yeah.
Yeah, I know you have the Smallville stuff. coming up.
Yes, Smallville's happening.
Do you still do
I've
reviews
done
with that one guy you used to do reviews with? The white guy, I forgot his name. Older guy. Good lord, can't remember his name.
Chris. Is that
Yes.
what you're talking about?
Was it Chris? No, it was
Oh, Steve.
the guy you did TMNT reviews with.
Well,
Or
that's Chris. The who we did TMNT with is Chris. Yeah, he's the one that actually is on the Magic video. But then the guy that I did the Comic Den reviews with,
yes.
that it was actually me and him who did our top 10 2025 issues. And so you can check that out soonish. And then also I just want to highlight too, I've brought on some cool indie creators to do some stuff. This year, something I'm really happy to do, really proud of that I did, was being able to bring a few indie people on. And so, and the most recent interview, I think, it was like the best one I've done yet. No shade to the others, but like that was a great discussion. And so I think that's something that's really worth checking out. My
Yeah,
interview with Michael
I
Schwartz.
I know what you mean. When you bring on like indie creators, it's very hit or miss because some of them can't have conversations. Some of them don't know how to talk at all. Some of them like
Well,
can't even hold
all
their
of them have
thoughts
been really
properly.
good so far, but like, it's just one of those things that it's being able to have the opportunity to interview and talk to these comic creators, something that I don't know, maybe I'll try to do someday. I don't know. And so it's always just cool to talk to a creator, period. And so I want to get more people on the channel, and I want to try to build myself up so maybe I could actually get some like people that actually do work with Marvel and DC eventually. But that's the dream, right? So,
Oh, you
but
had
I
me
want I want to
on. That's
personally I want
automatically a
to
no.
I want to personally build up my ability to do things like that though. So, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I think getting to a certain level where you can have those people on. I don't know. It might be one of those where it's goddamn. You think of how good it may be, but it turns out that like I know I had Aaron Sparrow on. He talked about a few of them being like just charisma vacuums, like just not being able to like have conversations too. But hopefully that's not the case with a lot of them, because like that was the problem with the indie comic creators. Is I just hated the ones where it was just like one word answers, can't hold a conversation, just
Yeah.
the most. I understand being nervous, that's fine. But I remember
Right.
this one guy I had on. It went pretty nah when I was doing the other show. I think it was the Iron Man podcast or whatever.
Sure.
And then I was like, he wanted to come up and promote again. I was like, yeah, man, sure, but gonna have to be able to have a conversation a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
more
yeah.
better. That's all I said. That's all I said was you need to talk a little bit more, so it doesn't like I'm just filibustering the whole
Right.
time. And he just can't talk to me since then. That's all I said. All I said was just talk more. What in the world? But that's what happens when you talk to a bunch of nerds. They just don't like talking unless it's I don't even know. I really couldn't tell you honestly. People are just weird.
Yeah, I'm not a natural extrovert by any means, and so I think part of it for me is I want to build the ability to to be able to talk to them better in certain ways, to be able to carry an interview better. But as far as how my first few have gone, I've been really like they've been fun and good, and they've all enjoyed it. And the second one I did was with the creator of Dino Knights, Zach Chapman. He came back again to talk about the other set of issues that he did, as well as we reviewed Assorted Crisis Events, which that comic is amazing. That's a must-read comic for sure.
Like where your mic? I think you've been punching the mic so hard.
It's really like what's the word I'm trying to use? Delicate, and like the setup here isn't the best, but it's the best I can do. It's I had to make my things very sensitive to be able to even pick up my voice okay, because StreamYard's stupid.
Yeah.
I hate StreamYard so much.
Yeah.
No offense to you who use it, but like I get why people use it. It's just StreamYard does not technically like me some days, and today was one of those days where it was giving me problems. I was like, God, you suck.
Good Lord, man. I have to. Michael Schwartz. You said he's on Twitter, I think, right?
Yeah, Twitter on Instagram, yeah.
Okay, what was the faster way he connected with you?
He checked his Twix, I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you often use. I don't really use Instagram, but
Me
on
neither. Yeah.
on Twix, what I call Twitter / X.
Yeah.
When I first messaged him, is I don't know how often you use it, but you may have noticed that there's one point where messages were like really weird about a month ago or a few weeks ago
Yeah. Where
because they were in the
basically,
middle of they were
mhm,
upgrading their stuff. So like messages
yeah.
for like that week and a half was really weird. And so it was near the end of that. I remember I messaged him, but then like it didn't show if the messages went through or not. So I was like, if you get these, just email me.
Mhm.
And so we talked a lot over email.
Okay, yeah, because I would definitely like to have him on. I like talking to indie people that at least can hold a conversation. That's always the best. All right, guys, as we wrap it up here for 2025, I just want to say thank you to every single person that has been watching the MSK show, whether you watch the shows live or whether you watch the shows on the replay. And thank you guys for checking out the videos that we release from the MSK show episodes. I know I haven't did that in quite some time. I know I'm behind. Don't worry, I will get caught up at some point, But we also have the Cloud9 podcast coming back very, very soon. So we can talk about League of Legends, LoL esports and NFL and NBA stuff as well. I don't really know what I'm going to be doing with my comic book channel, honestly. I'm going to upload the videos that I did here to it eventually. But the reason why I haven't been doing it is because not because I don't want to or because I don't care. It's mostly
Sure.
because I've just been very, very busy. So I haven't given up on the channel at all. I've just been very, very busy. I have a brand new comic book opening series I want to debut on the channel at some point, but I'm gonna be doing some hard thinking about what I want to do with the channel and being like, hey, these are the main focuses and these are the things that I want to do
Yeah.
consistently on it. Because when you have a channel of that kind of size, you just generally want to focus on a few things and then kind of build on that rather than just doing like a bunch of other things. So I want to bring back the Spectacular MSK, which was the live series that I did once a week on the channel, so I could go over the solicitations for the week, as far as like the new books coming out and the trade paperbacks and collected editions. We would drop the reviews, obviously, that would go over there and the news. So I think that's what I want to focus on doing, like the openings every once in a while, the news videos for the comic book industry, and reviews, and doing the live Spectacular MSK show. That's kind of the things I want to focus on. I'll probably maybe upload a few channel update videos for both channels. I haven't really did any channel
Sure.
update videos in quite some time, so that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. You know, uh, but the other thing I want to let you guys know about is, we made it. I'll see you next year. No, fuck, that's a corny bad joke. But we'll see you guys. You guys are awesome, and we started the show in September 2024, and we did 392 episodes in a year. So I use a calculator because I'm black and we can't do math. So calculator. So we did 392 plus 392. That would put us at 784 if I did 392 episodes exactly coming up in 2026. Now, will I be doing that many episodes in 2026? I have no clue, honestly. But I just
One
want to
way to
say,
find out.
yeah, the only way to find out is
Stay
you gotta.
tuned.
So, and that still wouldn't get me to 1,000. That's crazy, right? That still wouldn't put me to my 1,000 number that I want to reach. So by 2027 is when I am going to be potentially reaching 1,000 episodes. But yeah, just want to say thank you to every single person that came on the show, whether it be a one-on-one panel or just doing the reviews. It's awesome. And the last thing I'll let you guys want to hear from me, because my wife wants to probably bang me right now, all jokes aside. So make sure you guys stay safe tonight. Happy New Year's, and thank you guys for checking out the last episode of the MSK Show for 2025, and I'll see you guys in 2026.